As you know, or you may have heard, for people who are Dominicans typically, or others looking, just maybe give a let me just give a brief overview. So Dominica is building an international airport. It's sort of first international airport. It's the biggest infrastructure project ever in Dominica, and it's being built right in the area which where I was born, in Wesley, Dominica. And the airport, obviously, of that size, you need a lot of material. And Dominica is a relatively small island, like most of the other Caribbean countries. And we have very beautiful, natural uh, scenery. We're blessed with a lot of rivers and mountains and forests and lush green vegetation. But we also want an international airport. And one of the things that's needed there are the building material, the aggregate. So currently there is a very uh, contentious issue with with respect to the source of aggregate for the construction of the runway. I mean, you need aggregate not just for a runway, but for any concrete and other areas. So, but it's a lot, right? But the runway alone is almost 2 miles long, and I think like 150 feet wide. And then in addition, there are shoulders and there are other areas, not just apart from the runway that you need aggregate. So it's a lot. It's a lot of material that that is needed so for the construction. So currently, I know there are three areas so far that were exploited for the for aggregates for the airport. And I will show you here. If you look, that's the airport gonna be in this area up here. And then there's a quarry. That one I think they call it Tarish Pit, close after you pass Ben's Ansdimi. Is it? No, it's before Ansdimi. But after you pass Ben's, going before you that that hill before you get down on the flat to is it Blenheim or Hampstead River? Before you meet the road going up, if you're going up Portsmouth side, before you meet the road going up to Vickers and Tebow. So that's the one right here, that, that, that yellow pin over there. All right. And then we we go to the other side on here where you have these two other that one is in the Pegwa area, and then that's the one in the Daywash area. Now this both of these there are issues going on here. I think they have some dealing with the length of time they can work, and there might be other stuff. I don't know all the details, but this is the one that's the biggest issue that right now that's in the Daybush area, right, encroaching on the forest reserve and river. The names are just Daybush. It's French, meaning two branches of rivers meet in that area, and then there's downstream of that you have the Concord village here, and people use the river. Yeah, there's several things downstream, but the Basse that's there, and then further down there's tubing and so on. So it's a so with the quarry going on here, you can get much more detail as to there are several issues. I don't going into all the stuff, but I will just limit what I'm saying here to the using a geologic map, which I'm gonna pull up in a little while. and show it how, from a geotechnical perspective, how you use that to as a guide to before getting out in the field. So those are the locations. Yeah. If you zoom in, in that Google Earth map hasn't been updated yet, but now the area should look quite different because a lot of those trees are already gone, and there are back walls and road access road and everything. Now I'm gonna move to the geologic map. Now this is a geologic map of Dominica that I found online. And if you look here, there are 3 locations. That is the location for the quarry that I showed on in Tarish Pit after passing Benz, that area. And then there is the one in Pigwa. And then there's the one in Debosh area. Now those are approximate, right? Don't hang me for that, because those are approximate locations. So it's in the general vicinity of this. Now, if you look at those 3 locations, you will see, before I even go there, you see the geologic map tells you the type of rocks that are on the within that location, right? So it gives you the type of rock you will get, and there are some other information. There's a key on the side tell you fault line and all the different things here, the hot springs and so on. Now, if you look in there, those 3 locations, you'll notice that the geologic map is color coded. The color tell you the type of subsurface you are dealing with. So you have that light purple color. It tells you that you are in the assorted volcanic rocks and mafic rock, and that you'll typically find the basalt in there, which is a dense, hard rock, dark in color, fine grain. So if you look there in all those 3 different sites for the airport, they were within that type of rock formation based on the geologic map that is shown here. Right? And you can also see that it is not only present in the Congo Debosh area, but also at several locations around Dominica, that like down here in the pitted savanne in the bottom down here, and then you have on the west coast side, and then even in the Portsmouth area, Portsmouth-born area here, you have that formation, same type of formation there. I would think that I think I saw it for the people who know. Yeah, the between Maho and Masak, there's a quarry based on Google, and it's in that same type of formation, that same type of formation, that same type of rock. So it's interesting that it is that type of rock based on the geologic map is present at several different locations throughout Dominica. It seems to be one of the bigger deposits, or that bedrock. They're found in Dominica. So there appears to be several sources. Now, the geologic map gives you very general information. It doesn't give you detailed site-specific information. So you use that just as a guide to know where to start. But you have to get out there and get the site-specific information when you do the subsurface investigation. You drill, you get down in the rock, you you do the rock coring, and you could find different properties, and ultimately from a geotechnical view, and what you call the RQD, the rock quality designation, is a very important factor. And you use a lot of there are other things that you look for: the weathering, how it's cracked, how there are several different uh, things that you look for to 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 assess the quality of the rock that you're getting. Now, you know what the geologic map is showing, the type of rock. There's still that there's soil above that. In some cases, you have what you call a rock outcrop, but the rock is just exposed. But others, the rock is not exposed. You have to dig. You don't know how much overburden is above there, and so on. So you have to get out and do the actual site investigation to see. There could be variation in weathering, how and the weathering would affect how hard or soft the rock is. So but it's just interesting that these are all located in this type of rock formation. Now the question is, have they why they wash? Why is this location that they say it has to be from there? Why not pit it Savan? Why not which area is that? Not too sure. Is that somewhere on the east coast down here? I know Daly says River Zurich area. I'm not sure. Look closer here, but you can see with down in this area and on the west coast, even in the Portsmouth area. Maybe we could tell some people from Portsmouth to move a few hundred houses, and so that they could get the rock from there. How about that? But I know, because I just say that in terms of some people were the people from Wesley, those people that didn't live in Wesley, and they find, hey, the Wesley people should just, what is the problem? Just move and give them room to build the airport. What if they say, hey, you know what? That same type of formation is in Portsmouth. So let's go down in Portsmouth and let's move some houses. The place is nice and flat. Move some houses and some other buildings around there, and take it from Portsmouth. That would be a problem, right? Now you put yourself in that position, and you can see why some people in Wesley had issue of moving. Or if you go down to where that's on the, is it Jupla area down there, and say, you know what, let's move, you guys, we need that rock to for the airport, and put it on a badge, and bring it over to Wesley area. Now if you start to think about that, you might see how sensitive it gets when you're asking people to move off their land, and for you to give them access to build. I mean, yes, we know in some cases that have to happen, but at the same time, you cannot suppress the emotion that people feel as a result of that. But my main thing was just coming back to show that there are several locations with that same type of rock formation around the Dominica. So the question comes back to why they wash, why this location. It would be interesting to know why this particular area that they need to get the rock. I know maybe further down in there, you get further into the forest reserves, maybe that, but at least on those outer areas, even close to Kalibishi area down there, there's that same type of rock formation. Hey, Kalibishi people, Would you move? Give your houses up so that they could get the rocks for the airport? Think about how the Wesley people feel. Anyway, there, just another perspective, and it would be interesting to find out why that particular location is the spot that they have to get it from. Let me know what you think. Take care. Bye bye.